Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be checking out Francis Ngannou. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing his name correctly. As a Nigerian person, I would like to check this guy out because he's a Cameroonian guy, and Cameroon is like our neighbor, probably our French brothers if you want to go by that. It's always nice to see situations like this where someone comes from a very poor background in Africa, you know, as most people do. Come on like that and become great, become famous, become successful. It's always a very, very good story. And I'm always looking forward to videos like this because it gives me hope. It gives me hope that though I'm not from a wretched, poor background, but I'm not from a rich background. So obviously my life here is not the best and I would like to live a better life. So watching videos like this can inspire me, can give me motivation to continue doing what the hell I'm doing in my life. And I'm really looking forward to this. Guys, if you are new, subscribe to the channel, and if you love this video, hit the like button, or if you want me to get out of this hellhole that I am, hit the like button to get this video out to more people. I really appreciate it. Let's get right into it.
How does a 10-year-old sand miner from Africa become the scariest man on the planet?
Pendant la grossesse, il était toujours agité dans le ventre si bien que je ne parvenais même pas à dormir. Mais pour bagarrer, non. Il ne bagarrait jamais.
My dad didn't have a good reputation.
Was your dad a fighter?
Not like a professional fighter, but he was violent, fighting, beating my mom up, beating us up, and that's even how they get divorced.
I was able to see the fear in the eye of my mom. One of my goals was to take that fear out of her.
Et il ne voulait jamais voir quelqu'un en train de taper un solo.
Then we started to live in different family. I never feel as I belong to some family anymore.
And from that moment, I knew something. I don't want to become like my dad. I always feel like I missed my childhood, like I was subject of shame to other kids. I'm gonna go to school and didn't have a pen to take note or a notebook to write on it. Sometimes no shoes or clothes.
And you couldn't tell them, we can't afford it. You didn't want to say it?
They knew,
They
but
knew.
what can they do?
Francis gets kicked out of school because he can't afford the supplies. From the age of only 10 years old, he starts working in a sand mine.
One of the things that I read about you was that you worked in a sand mine.
Sand mine?
I was about 10 years old when I started that because...
Quand Francis était à la carrière, c'est quand il revenait qu'on pouvait même payer quelque chose ici à la maison.
In this open cast mine, hundreds of artisanal miners are working in waters soiled by mercury without any protection. Among them, dozens of children, including girls, sometimes younger than 5.
Even though that work was meant for adults, but we didn't have any option, so we take what we had.
Look at that, what the hell? Look at that lady with a baby. What? I don't even know whether that is a lady or whether that is a child with a baby. Like, this is a reality, guys. This is a reality. I mean, I see people when they're doing construction for buildings, you see, you know, mothers coming to coming to work, carrying some of the concrete and all that stuff. And it's always very interesting because even though I am not affluent, I still have proximity to affluent people. So that means I see what affluent people are doing and compare it with what poor people are doing. You get what I'm saying? And it's very weird. One thing I've noticed about Africa is that the wage gap, people complain about the wage gap in the US and in the West. Man, you don't have a wage gap. Seriously, you do not have a wage gap. Wage gap, when I'm talking about wage gap, you will see wage gap in this side, you would cry. Someone will build a very big mansion in a place that the road is not good. And he doesn't care. He does not care. And he's a government official. It's not like he's some private citizen hustling for himself. He's a government official, maybe like a chairman. I don't know how you guys call it, maybe county chairman. I don't know how you guys call it in your countries. But he will build a mansion in that area, then he will just drive his vehicle and go and enter his house. Not even caring. He's the chairman. It is his job to fix the road, but he doesn't care. He does not care. He can drive there, go to his house, and it's fine. Like, I do not understand. I actually think Africa is cursed. I think Africa is cursed because maybe some Africans are watching this and they are patriotic and they feel like I'm bashing Africa. I'm not bashing Africa. I'm bashing the leaders. I'm not bashing the citizens. I'm bashing the people that have the power to change the life of people. And all this goes back to slavery period, where the leaders of the communities were selling off people for nickels, for mirrors. The mirror that you used to, they were selling off people for that. So, I don't know. And it's still going on to today. African leaders are still selling off their people. That's why you see all these military coups going on in some of these African countries, because the so-called democratic leaders are all there sitting down there selling off their people to the colonizers as they were in the past. Now, I'm not even blaming the white people. To be honest with you, I am not. Without the help of the African leaders, the white people cannot do anything. They can't. The African leaders give them the avenue and the way for them to do all this exploitation. Without the African leaders, none of this will happen. So I'm not just one of these people that is always trying to act like a victim, blaming the white man for everything. I'm not one of those kind of people. Without the African leaders giving a way for these white people to come and exploit the resources in Africa, none of this will happen. So I blame the African leaders first of all, because you are in control of your place, you are in control of your people, and you are sitting down there selling off your people as you were in the slavery period. I don't want to talk about this channel. I don't talk about things like this because I just get very angry and I will start saying things that doesn't match with this channel. So let's just...
Growing up doing something like that, first of all, it had to be very difficult. Like
Very
digging
difficult.
sand.
Yeah.
It's also, your body
He's
must
going to
develop very
reminisce on
strong
it.
from
Wow,
doing
that's
something like
nice.
that. At 10 years old, like as you're growing, as you're maturing, doing something
Yeah,
that's
the
that
body will
difficult.
be very strong.
I mean, it must have made you really fucking strong.
À lui seul, il remplaçait 2 ou 3 personnes.
And although he does his best to support his mother, Francis is secretly hoping that a savior is going to come and rescue him.
I was always expecting somebody to come there and do something.
I grew up with this expectation for many, many years, but it was clear that nobody is coming for me anymore.
But something else happened instead, when somebody showed him a YouTube clip of Mike Tyson.
That was like my motivation to watch Mike Tyson on YouTube, because that's when I never watched a fight. Like,
Wow.
Because I grew up in Africa and I didn't have a damn TV, nothing like that, you know. And I was watching it, I'm like, damn, I can do this.
No, you did what you don't know what you did. Know what you did? Your words were your destiny. You spoke out your reality. When you said, I'm gonna do that. That's what happened to me. I was locked up in a juvenile detention center, and I was like, what, 12 or 11, I was locked up in a juvenile detention. And I'll be watching the movie The Greatest, and it was cool. And as soon as the lights came on, Muhammad Ali came in. And as soon as he came in, everybody lost. I mean, the staff, the guards, the police, everybody lost. And I said, I want to be like him. First thing I said, I want to be like him.
This is so emotional, seriously.
I want to be like him.
I don't really get emotional that easily, guys, but every time I see things like this, especially people that have gone through hardships, like Mike Tyson himself, Francis Ngannou, and I'm not going to sit down here and claim like I've gone through the hardship that people like this have gone through. Not even close. I have not. I mean, I'm not going to sit down here and pretend. I have not. Now, did I come from a rich family? No. But I've never gone through this kind of hardship. Never. So I can never really understand where they're coming from. But I have seen it. I have seen it around me. I have seen that kind of hardship, and it's so horrible. It's so horrible.
Personality of a person, the ways of a person, the thoughts, the deeds, the actions, it's all based around his heart. For what is a man? A man is his heart.
I was a dreamer. I was very ambitious.
People around thought I was going crazy. Like, what the hell?
You are not for that class of life. You have to be like a farmer, like your dad, and you can't do it. I'm like, why? Why I can't do it? Who says it can change?
Regardless to man's title, regardless to man's wealth, rank, or position, If the heart is not great, then he cannot be great.
What the fuck is that? Who told you it's possible for you? Look at you. Look at where you came from.
But if the heart is great, that man remains great under.
This video is more emotional than I thought it would be. What is this music? What is this background music? I mean, I don't like... Sometimes this background music just adds too much to the video, man. What the hell is this background music?
All circumstances, rich or poor, large or small, so does the heart that makes one large or small.
I just have to change
Muhammad Ali had some
I
great
just have to be
speeches.
something else. I believe that I can make my own destiny.
I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me.
All of you bow. All of our critics fall. All of you suckers. All of you suckers bow.
Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody ruthless.
Alexander
I'm
the
Jack
Dread.
Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their club. There's no one that can match me.
From this moment on, to recognize me as the scholar of boxing.
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
All of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
So why don't I be the guy coming for myself? A miracle won't happen right now. You have to take action.
20 years ago today, my dad passed away after being sick for a very long time. He couldn't afford to go to the hospital. I was looking at my mom and asked myself, if she ever got sick, what would I do? At that point, I knew I had to do something to at least be able to provide her decent health care.
Before I left Cameroon, I went to see my mom. She didn't know why I was there for that long, but I was there because that was my last time before I leave. Then I'm like staring at my mom sometime, like maybe this might be the last time that I'm seeing her, but I have to do this.
That's when I decided to leave.
But if you're in Cameroon, you just can't go to Europe by taking the front door.
You know,
So
I have to use all the back doors.
And in the case of Francis, the first step is nothing less than crossing the biggest and most treacherous desert on earth.
Sahara is one of
Sahara Desert, yeah.
the Sahara Desert, and it's like one of the biggest over there. They just bring a small truck and put your baggage in it. You know, like Toyota Tacoma?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's gonna be like 25 of you guys in the back.
25 people in a Toyota Tacoma.
Yeah,
Wow.
plus your luggage. So
Wow.
you are not allowed for a lot of luggage. Even water, you don't allowed for certain quantity of water because it takes space.
Oof.
And you are going to the desert and you have to grab the truck so hard so you get cramped. And then, but when you get cramped, you can't let him go, because if you let him go, you fall, and that's it. They won't stop. Let him go is like letting your life go.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
it's over if I let him go. There is not second chance. I remember there was a girl with a baby. She couldn't do it anymore. She just wanted to throw the baby away.
Oh my
Like
God.
this how hard it was. Like she couldn't do it, and you can't blame her. The guy just kept holding the baby to take the baby from her. Like,
We can hear the agonizing wails of another woman and go to speak to her.
I heard you crying. Mom, just see my baby.
Her name is Olabisi. 2 of her 4 children, it seems, were
Olabisi, that sounds like a Nigerian name. That's a Nigerian name, actually.
on another truck. They are the older ones, ages just 9 and 11.
That's my kid. I put her to death there.
and they have to hide from like the radars, because sometimes they are like helicopter flying up there, looking, checking if there's something going on, because they know that there is a lot of traffic there. Not
Right.
only immigrant, but only like guns and drugs and everything. So they always flying there. You have to be lucky so the car don't break up in the middle of the trip, because if the car break up in the middle of the trip, most of the time it's over.
What happens then?
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
You guys might just die.
The migrants have been stranded here for 3 days after their truck broke down. There are about 30 in all, left to die.
At the daytime, it's like 150 degrees. Nighttime, he drops to like maybe 20 degrees. It's crazy. You're gonna cross a mafia and all those people across the road. You're gonna get robbed, every kind of shit. So you better don't have all your money on you if you don't get killed. Or if you don't kill yourself by taking some risk.
One of the women starts praying under her breath. A single sentence, over and over.
Even before the middle of the trip, the water is finished. Nobody has water anymore.
Oof.
And these people, they don't give a shit. They just want to drive from this point to this point. So you get dehydrated at the point that you're not sweating anymore. It's like oil on your face. At some point, we have like a dome of sand. So you have to rub your face and everything because the sun is just like,
oh,
you go through all this stuff. And we found a water well, and it was so dirty with dead animal in it, bird, everything. If I don't drink this water, I'm not lasting long.
So you drank it.
So you drink it. You kind of like take the water, put it in the bottle, leave your shirt, and use your shirt as a filter. Drink the water. That's where you kind of like start to understand what you put yourself into. It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
So here's the good news. I didn't know that, but there's actually 2 Spanish territories in Morocco. That means you don't actually need to cross to Spain to get to Spain. You just need to get inside those cities. And to do so, you actually need to climb the fence that surrounds the cities or to swim from shore to shore. But that's easier said than done.
Sometimes we live in the forest, hiding for the cops, trying to cross the border to go to Spain.
Before and in between attempts to cross over, migrants were grouped in the forest surrounding those cities, where they face an entirely different kind of reality.
Get cold all the time, no clothes, no food.
The cops raid the forest on a weekly basis. They steal your money, vandalize your stuff, and are physically abusive to men and women.
But when they take your money, they don't care about all those. They just want to take whatever they can take.
So you had to swallow your money?
Yeah, you swallow your money.
And then find it later.
Find it later. You had to.
Right, I get it.
Like at this point, it's a matter of surviving.
And it was
Did you have food?
No, sometimes we eat. Sometimes we have to go
find food in the trash, sometimes arguing with rat in the trash, like, hey, get away of these tomatoes. It's mine.
Man.
These rotted tomatoes is mine, not yours, Go back in the forest, figure out how to cook that in the aluminum bucket or something.
The first way to get to the city is by climbing over the 11 miles fence that surrounds it. But calling it a fence is an oversimplification. It's a series of fences. The first one is 20 foot high. The second one has a flexible top, leading you straight into the barbed wire netting sitting at the bottom of it. The third fence is the highest yet, with more barbed wire waiting for you along with the civil guard, standing before a 2x4 meters ditch leading to a double fence topped with more barbed wires. So let me ask you, what would you go for? Fence or water? Francis chose the
water.
fence.
I would choose
11
water.
miles of fence will protect the island. It's small. I went to the fence, look at the fence like this. Man, the barbed wire was just on it like this. There's my life behind there, my future.
Right.
Man, I'm taking my chance. The first time I get caught, very caught, I was bleeding all over my hands, my feet, because I fell into it. I can't stay there. If those guys caught me there, they're probably gonna kill me.
How long were you in Morocco for?
1 year.
1 year?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Because every time that you attend, if you fail, they're gonna bring you back in the south, in the desert, and throw you guys there.
Disorientated and dehydrated, these migrants have just been deported. The nearest village is a 15-kilometer walk in the Sahara Desert, and they have no food or water.
So when you fail, you gotta go through the same cycle over and over again.
Sometimes, instead of like thinking of going back to the fence, you're like, okay, let me go try in the water.
This young man's dream of a better life in Europe ended before it began. His body washed up on the shores of Ceuta, a Spanish enclave on Morocco's Mediterranean coast.
You guys have to collect money to buy a boat to ram. Just a small one, the one that they use in the swimming pool. I count the wave like 1, 2, 3, because most of the time it's like 3 waves. And the third one would be the biggest one. The first one came, it was still okay. Second one, as much as we're going in the water, it get deeper and deeper. Then the third wave came, that was like something that you see in the movie.
No, just smashed you.
We fell in the water, no paddle. I hold my boat. I'm like, I trust myself. I trust my boat. This is my life. I'm not letting this go. I'm dying with it. I hold it like this. I saw this thing came. I'm like, put my head in the water, hold my boat like this, and it came, blew like boom, on top of me, scream like, what the hell is this? When we get in the boat, we find out that there are 2 of us missing, basically those with the paddle. How do we gonna paddle without paddle?
Right.
The guy was like, listen, we're gonna paddle with our hands. I'm like,
what?
Okay, this guy might be stupid or something. Like people die in the water, in the ocean, paddling with the real paddle, and we are just gonna paddle with our hands. How crazy is that? Man, for real? I'm gonna die just like this? My family don't even know. They won't even see my body, man.
demandé à papa que où est maman, il dit il ne sait pas. Maman est restée dans le... Tu es dans la chambre, tu es chez toi ici. Si.
When you got on that Red Cross boat and you knew,
I realized he was April 3rd, and I left Cameroon April 3rd, 1 year ago.
Wow.
1 year anniversary.
One long journey.
2013, 7 years ago, we were freed by the Spanish Homeland Security after spending 2 months in jail for illegally entering on European soil by sea. I had nothing by then but a dream and a faith of pursuing it. Okay, that was intense. After considering going to England and Germany, Francis finally settles on France.
I just wanted a place with opportunity. France seems to have that opportunity.
The very next day he arrives, Francis steps into a boxing gym.
I told him like, listen man, I just came here, I don't have money, I don't have nothing, but the only thing that I want is some place to keep training because I'm going to become a world champion.
Rapidement, j'ai compris qu'il y avait une précarité dans sa vie.
He finds a parking lot to sleep in and fully commits to training.
I was very happy at that time because even though I was sleeping in the parking lot, I was somewhere that I would have my fair share if I work hard.
And it doesn't take long before he's pushed into MMA instead of boxing.
So if you need the faster income to help you get out in your situation, you have to do MMA. Then I'm like, what's MMA?
Like, what is jiu-jitsu? Started explaining me everything. I'm like, hey man, please, leave me alone with your MMA.
Je ne me souviens pas d'avoir rencontré un mec aussi fort de manière brute. Oui, wow. Oh, God damn it.
Moi j'aime bien.
When was your first pro fight?
It was 4 months after
you started.
I started.
Wow.
Can you imagine this? Like, this is like his last chance in life. Do you guys understand what this is? This is like his last chance in life. Last chance. If he fails at this, what would he be? What can he do? Maybe become a criminal? What? I'm going to say everything I want to say at the end of the video. You guys should tune into that.
So I won my first fight. Submission.
You won by submission?
Yeah. It
What
was
did you
like,
use?
I don't know. There is not a name for that. Like,
Wow, the guy is strong. I mean, all he just needed was some training, some basic training and everything. In terms of the raw strength, he had it. Both from genetics and from all the hard work that he went through while he was young. I mean, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Like, this guy's story is incredible.
We're not turning back.
Only one man remains and stands.
Actually, watching his fights right now, I'm not trying to say that he's not that skilled, but the way I'm seeing him, he's more of the brute kind of force, the brute force kind of guy, just going at it, going for his survival. Like I think he still fights for that survival throughout all his fights. Even after he has made it to the UFC, he still fights for his survival. I'm not really seeing that much skill there. It's mostly like, whoa, like, man, that is... And with the raw strength that he has, I think that wouldn't be really hard. I mean, all he just needs is to hit you once and you probably go on the ground.
Stands between Francis and his dream, the greatest heavyweight of all time.
When you went into the Stipe fight, the first Stipe fight, how did you expect
I don't know this guy.
And what did you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
You didn't know?
Yeah. All the way through that fight, nothing was right.
All the way in training?
Yeah. Even how I approached the fight. In 2018, after I lost against Stipe, man, I went back. I felt like shit. Couldn't sleep. Even when I went to sleep, I didn't want sun to rise the next day. I felt like I want the night just last forever. You know, I couldn't look at myself. Feel very bad at that moment. I just took my phone and then went online, booked a first plane for Cameroon. And guess what? When I went in Cameroon, the welcome that I had there, man, like, it was crazy. They were so excited, so happy, so proud.
I love that.
And at some point, I was still like feeling bad about myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, there was just like, hey, champ, welcome. And everybody was going crazy. Even grandmas who doesn't know anything about fighting. And now I'm like, listen, guy, I think you might get something wrong here. I lost. I didn't win that fight. I'm like, we don't care. You won everything. Like
Francis, pour nous, c'est une légende, c'est un monument. Donc, tout ce qu'il fait en Europe, aux États-Unis, c'est gravé dans notre mémoire.
We never had somebody there. We never even expect somebody from us. We get there and you make it there. You represent us. We make us prize. Obviously, it didn't go your way, but you're still young and this.
Il a grandi ici et je suis là présentement. Je vais toujours l'accueillir ici, à la maison.
When I go back home, that's the place that allowed me to understand like how far I came.
You've gone. Yeah.
Do you think it's your destiny? Do you think it's your birthright, your destiny to
My
be?
friend, you have to make your destiny.
He went back there. He went back to his former working ground. This video is too emotional for me. I've never actually shared a thing in any video I've done on YouTube. I've never done that. Never. I've never. This is the first time I've actually shed a tear. The first time. I think this really hits close to home because I'm one of those people that wants to leave this shithole of a country. I want to leave this shithole of a country. And a lot of people also want to leave this shithole of a country, which is Nigeria. And a lot of African countries share the same. A lot of people in other African countries share the same reality as I do. It's really, really sad. Anyway, I'm going to say everything I want to say there.
What memories standout of your childhood in West Africa?
The memory for my child in Africa, it wasn't the best, but I couldn't make it here today if it wasn't like that.
The future doesn't make sense without the past.
For what is a man? A man is his heart.
This is so embarrassing. I don't know why this video hits me like this. I don't know. I can't believe I'm shedding a tear like this. What? One of the reasons why I'm shedding a tear for this video. Like, obviously a lot of fighters went through this. A lot of fight. You can't become a successful fighter without going through some hardships. Except maybe you went through some real regimented training and all that, but seeing this guy's stories, because this is a story that a lot of African people go through. A lot of African people go through this, and they don't have to. They do not have to go through this. Africa has so many resources. They have almost all the countries in Africa have resources that are plentiful enough for the people not to have to do this. Now, you see people in the US, some of them complain about the United States. Personally, I don't see what they're complaining about, but I don't understand. Maybe since they are born, they cannot see the privilege that they have. And I understand that. Someone like me, I will look at it and I'm like, you are so privileged. Why are you complaining? You know what I'm saying? I am not castigating them. I do understand that when you are born in that particular situation, you can't understand the view of other people, because in your mind, you feel like you are not being treated right. You don't have free healthcare like maybe some European countries may have and things like that. And I understand that. But despite that, a lot of Americans don't even want to leave the United States. Despite all the complaints and all the saying things like America is horrible, they don't treat this minority the right way and all that, they don't still want to leave. They still want to be in the United States. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they still want to stay in the United States despite all the complaints that they have. So even if they are so tired of the US and they're so tired of how they treat them, if they want to move to maybe, let me say, one of these European countries like Sweden or Norway that has maybe better social benefits, they're doing it voluntarily. It's not a desperate situation. They actually take flights. They take planes to go to these European countries. People in Africa, I saw a news recently, some guys from Nigeria, they were inside the ship. They were like, I don't know how to explain that part of the ship, but outside of the ship, but some kind of enclosement inside the on the outside of the ship, and they were there for thousands of miles from Nigeria to Brazil. They thought they were going to Europe. They thought that ship was going to Europe. There were 5 of them. 2 of them requested for them to be sent back to Nigeria because their dream was Europe. They wanted to go to Europe. They didn't want to go to Brazil. And Brazil is not going to have some of these free things that European countries will give immigrants like that. So in their mind, going back to Nigeria was better. Despite going through that horrible journey, they chose to go back to Nigeria. And they will try again. Make no mistake, they will try again. But this is not supposed to be something that has to happen. African leaders have failed their people. They have failed their people to a point where people are suffering like this just to go to another country. that failed the people. That failed the people to a very horrible situation. Let me not say more. I'm still staying here. I don't want people to come and arrest me. Let me not say more. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. I can't believe I got this emotional for this video. I thought this video was going to be something that I'll just be watching and I'll be so happy about it, the success that this guy has had. But this was way more than I bargained for. See you on the next one.